Hey guys, this is my Kursk mock, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the process it took me, which was long, in order to make it. Enjoy. I drew a little sketch with some labels for the model. I wasn't really sure how it would look in the end, but this was just a rough thing to help me start building. I originally wanted the model to break into two, so I used Technic bricks and Technic pins to connect two large grey base plates. This didn't work out in the end, but for a while I really thought it did, and I worked hard at it, because that way it would be easier to transport around the place, and here are just some photos of that before it went wrong. Seeing as the Battle of Kursk was the largest tank battle in history at the time, I knew that I had to use my Tiger 1 model shown in the photo. This was partly based on the Brickmania design, but also many aspects of my own design, as I cannot afford those kits. I also got together some of my figures from United Bricks, the Minifig Co, and the lot that would be useful in this mock. In order to make the model look clean, I wanted to have a black border around it, so I began building one. I also wanted it to be strong, so I could build things such as trenches and so it could support tanks and minifigures. So I got to work building an X which would hold the general model together and split it into 4 sections. Here are some photos of how I did this. I used different bricks, different colour bricks, and all sorts of wacky combinations to achieve this. I tried to utilise everything that I had before going out of my way to buy any pieces so I could save money and so I could get progress done quickly. Here are the results, and it's been pretty successful so far, and yeah, I was really happy with it so far and really optimistic. I knew that I wouldn't have enough black pieces to do a border the entire way around the build, so I decided to make the back of it white as I had plenty of pieces to do so, and at the end of the day, it wouldn't take away from the general look of the build. You can see more of the border and some of the early parts of it. I used black tiles and black bricks to achieve it. I'm happy with the results. Kursk is green, very green. It's in the Russian countryside, so I knew that I'd have to utilize many green plates in order to replicate it. So here's the start of that. I'd gotten a pick-a-brick cup from the Lego store in Milton Keynes and picked out as many as I could. I of course needed ways to hold up these plates, so I used minifig heads, bricks, whatever I could find in my personal collection. Here is some of the examples on the German side and how I did them. They weren't very stable. The main reason I wanted to have the model raised was so I could build this trench. I thought it would add a lot to the battle, and I eventually extended it upon this, which you'll see later. And here you can see some of the parts and figures for me waiting until I could get more parts to carry on making the model. I was enjoying this. So the battlefield wasn't just tanks and men. I decided to add some trees, and here you can see how I did that with pieces from my collection. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out, though I'm not sure how accurate they are. I do feel like they add a lot to the scene. Unfortunately, there was a period of waiting where I didn't have any new parts come in, and I needed them to carry on with the model, so here are just some general snaps I took when I was bored. I know they don't look great. I knew the battle would need to have some vegetation in it, so here are some early attempts at that. I think I did a good job. I thought my trench was a little bit too small, so I extended it to make it bigger and better. I decided to pose some of my figures to see how they'd look, and I was happy. Here's a little bird's eye view of the trench before it was finished. There were moments when the setup was messy like this. Any advice that I'd give to anyone trying to make models such as this is don't give up and have patience. Sometimes it will be a mess, you've just got to stay organised, keep on track, and you'll be able to get there, like I did. This did take a couple of months, so stuff like this, it happens and it's nothing to be ashamed of at all. So yeah. The model was about half done, so I took a photo of it with my German Stahlhelm in the back. Here's the same shot, but from a different angle. Pretty cool, I think. Again, more mess. The model was becoming a place for me to dump stuff, so I had to get on. In order to save time and money, I decided to use Duplo as it would be strong for a base, quick to build, and also cheaper to build, as my grandma had quite a large box of Duplo I used to play with when I was younger. I used the classic technique of putting normal Lego bricks on top of the Duplo bricks and connecting it with the green plates on top. Here are some photos of how I did this, and I'm quite happy with the results, as it was super quick to do, and actually made the Soviet side of the model a lot stronger than the German side. I could not wait for my next parts delivery. I'd already built up the Duplo base underneath, I just needed the bricks to connect the green plates and then set up my Russians. I was very excited. In the meantime, I made vegetation. Once I'd managed to source some bricks, I put them on and it was amazing. I was so excited to carry on building the model and to sell up all the figs. Here you can see how I did that. I of course had the German side and the Soviet side. I made sure to add vegetation to make the model stand out even more, and I'm really happy that I did. I had the Russians charging into the German positions, like what happened in the battle, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. To label and make each side more identifiable, I decided to get the flags for the countries. I didn't really want a swastika on my model, so I just used the Imperial German flag used earlier on. I assure you I'm not a communist, but I did feel safer having the official Soviet Union flag on the build. As many of you guys will know, there is my T-34-85 by E&R Brick Stuff in the model on the Soviet side as well. Anyway, that was how I made the Battle of Kursk in LEGO. I really hope you enjoyed, and it would mean a lot to me if you liked, commented, and subscribed, as this project did take a few months despite what it may look like. Once again, thank you. Bye-bye. And if you're active on Instagram, please follow me at Supreme Lego. You won't regret it. I'm very active on there, as I pretty much am on my phone all day, and I respond to every DM, so yeah.